Welcome to the Roman Polcha Show. This is our second episode of the day, and I'm very excited to be with you for our second episode of the day. In the first episode of Tuesday, November 12th, we talked about Trump's new cabinet members and his scary policy agenda for his 2024 to 2028 presidential bid that he was just elected for last week. In the second video, we're going to be talking about something very important to me, and that is money in politics. And not just are we going to be talking about money in politics, we're going to be talking about what you think about money in politics. Because we're going to be going over some research and some data that was accumulated by the Pew Research Center on the topic of money in politics in this video. Before we get into that, I ask that you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, you comment any questions you have down below. I will answer them as soon as I can. And I also ask that you help us to meet our goals on the channel. We are targeting 100 subscribers. We are targeting, I believe, 50 hours of view time. We're at around 15 right now. And we are also targeting 1,000 total views, which we are currently over 200. So help me build to that, and I'll keep you updated on how we're doing with our goals. And let's get into the video. So, first off, I've obviously promoted getting rid of money in politics words on this channel in the past. I asked you to sign a petition, actually, last week, I believe, for a 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution that would get rid of money in politics. So this is something that I think is very important, and it's something that a lot of Americans think is important that I learned about by reading this research done by the Pew Research Center. So I've been reading lots of articles. I've been trying to keep updated. I've read Politico, I've read CNN, keeping updated on the news so I can share with you the most important news of the day. So with that being said, let's get into what research and what data was accumulated about money in politics and what Americans think about it. So 72% of Americans say that there should be limits on the amount of money individuals and organizations should spend. That's obvious to me. There shouldn't be people like Elon Musk being able to donate $100 million, $200 million, how many ever millions and millions and millions of dollars to a campaign. There shouldn't be corporations who are able to donate hundreds of millions of dollars to a campaign and then make shady side deals with politicians to get them to push legislation that benefits large corporations. Because guess who that does not positively impact? The majority of American citizens. And those are the people that politicians should be fighting for. Their true constituents. The people that are voting for them and the people that need their help the most. And guess what? 72% of Americans agree with this. And the funny thing is, with 72% of support for a policy that would put limits on the amount of money individuals can spend on campaigns, how come we don't have a Democratic nominee that's running on this issue? Bernie Sanders talks about it all the time. Let's get rid of money in politics. It's not a very complicated issue, but it's deep-rooted in corruption because a lot of the politicians don't want to get rid of that because they make a lot of money off of getting these big donors, and that's how they get into office, they believe. How can we win an election if we can't raise hundreds and hundreds of millions or billions of dollars? Politicians don't want to see that changed, and that's sad. We should have a revolutionary coming through saying, this is what 72% of Americans want, this is what we're going to get done. And that is the type of candidate that I think the Democratic Party needs to choose in 2028 if we're going to stand a chance at getting back into office. So there's so many more numbers. I'm just going to keep on reading some of the numbers I wrote down off of this Pew Research study. This is absolutely insane. 58% of Americans say it's possible to change the law. So not just do 72% of Americans think there should be limits, 58% of Americans say that we can change it. And of those 58%, 52% of Republicans say that. So over half, the majority of Republicans think that we can change the law. 66% of standard Democrats think that we can change the law. And 76% of more further left progressives think that we can change law. So progressives, 3/4, Democrats, standard Democrats, 2/3, and even Republicans are in the majority of thinking this law can be changed. How can we not change it? 58% accumulating all the different groups, think that this law can be changed, and 72% think that we should change the law. Seems obvious. Seems like the country has some backing here. Let's get a politician in there that can really support the American people and what they want, because this is what they want. It's clear. It's in the numbers. In an open-ended question, 11% of Americans said the biggest problem with elected officials is that they are too influenced by cash. In an open-ended question, if I asked you in an open-ended question, what is the largest problem with elected officials? What would you say? Well, 11% when asked the question straight up, not given multiple choices, not given suggested answers. They were asked straight up, what is the number one issue with the elected officials in our government? And over 1 in every 10 Americans said the largest issue is that they are too influenced by money. Another 9% said corruption. Another 16% say that they don't represent their constituents. So the American people, when asked what is wrong with the politicians, say they care too much about cash. They don't represent their constituents. They are corrupt. That is what we believe as Americans. Republicans believe this. Democrats believe this. Independents believe this. This is a general population of people that believe this. And reading this article even more fueled my passion for this subject, because I already knew that was something I wanted to see done. I want to get rid of money in politics. It's corrupt. It's corrupted our politics. It's made it so that we don't have true politicians that are representing for the people, voted by the people for the people. And we can see it get done. The American people agree. They think they're corrupt. Everyone thinks they're corrupt. Everyone thinks that they take money from corporate donors that they don't trust. All these things are facts. And we can do a lot to change it. And again, 58% of Americans think the law can be changed, which it can, and we will see it changed. Go sign the petition for the 28th Amendment. Go to the Wolfpack. Go to thewolfpack.com and sign a petition to bring about the 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which would ban this kind of corrupt private funding in our elections. I signed it. Tons of people have supported it. Cenk Uygur is the one that created the Wolfpack, and I believe that you can go sign that petition as well and do your best to make a difference if this is something you are strongly believing in, which a lot of Americans seem to be, as according to these statistics that I'm reading to you. 85% of Americans say the cost of political campaigns makes it harder for good people to run for office. Yeah, I agree. Why do you think that in these smaller state legislative positions, people respect the Republican that run, people respect the Democrat that run? Because they view them as good, moral people who are running for the right reasons. Why is that? Well, they view that in that way because these people are not being given hundreds of millions of dollars in campaign contributions to do this. They're not being paid an extraordinarily high salary or getting a ton of prestige for their positions. They're doing it because they believe in representing the people. And as you get higher and higher up, you see more campaign contributions, you see more corruption. And those people aren't as trusted, and those people are not people that are trusted by the American public. So 85% of Americans say the cost of political campaigns makes it harder for good quality people to run for office because they can't afford it. They can't afford to run for office. That's sad. Let's take the funding out of these campaigns and let's allow good quality moral people to run for office. 63% say elected officials, what does it say? Sorry, I apologize. 57%, 63% say elected officials are too into money. They make too much money. That's the truth. That's what the American population thinks. That's why they ran. I'm sorry, 63% say elected officials ran to make money. So basically 2/3 of our population think that the main reason that elected officials are running for office is to make money. 57% think that it's to seek a higher office in the future. 54% think that the reason they're running is for fame and attention. Donald Trump's kind of the originator of that one. And this is where it gets sad. Only 22% of Americans think that politicians are running to address issues they care about, and 15% say that they are running to serve the public. So you're the base. We are the average American people. And 22% of us think that the issues that they care about, that's not why they're running. 15% of us think that they're actually running to serve the public. Only 15% of Americans think that the people running for office actually want to serve the public. And I agree with that. I think that there's very few politicians in Washington that ran for their position to serve the public. And I think a lot of it is to make money, to get a higher office in the future, career, interpersonal selfish motivations, which is not why politics got around in the first place. People got into these positions to make the lives of Americans better. And that's what we need to get back to. And I think that we can't get back to that if we get rid of money in politics, get a 28th Amendment to ban these corporations from donating and ban certain amounts of money from being spent. That is what we need. 80% of people say Congress can't keep personal interest out of work in Congress. Personal financial interest. 80%. Congress, Supreme Court, all have terrible, terrible approval ratings. We already know this. No one trusts them. Everyone thinks they're corrupt. And here's the reason why. It's mostly because of finance. We need serious, strict campaign finance laws. And I don't want to keep on repeating that 1,000 times in this video, but it's the truth. And another 80% of people who donate to political campaigns have too much influence. That's what you think. 80% of people who donate to political campaigns have too much influence. I agree. I don't think that someone like Elon Musk should be able to donate $500 million to a campaign and then 2 weeks later be able to hop on a call with President Zelensky of Ukraine. Sorry, what have you ever done to deserve and to have the knowledge to serve your country in that way? You were not elected. You were not chosen. You have not run for office. You've not proven anything, Elon Musk. But guess what? You donated an exorbitant amount of money. You're corrupt. Donald Trump is corrupt. And now you're on calls with President Zelensky. Just saying. 70% say constituents have little to no influence. And that's the last stat. And that's the saddest one. That's the truth. 70% of you think that you, the constituents, have little to no say over politics. And in a lot of ways, unfortunately, that's true. But we can change that. And that's why this is actually a positive video, because we're all on the same page. As you can see from the Pew Research Center, this study shows that people think that Congress, people think the president, people think the Supreme Court, people think that lawmakers at almost every level are corrupt. People think that campaign finance laws and honestly just money in politics in general has corrupted politicians and corrupted our government. And that's the truth. But since we're all on the same page, we can make a difference. Go sign that petition. I'm going to encourage you one last time. Go sign that petition at thewolfpack.com. Wolfpack.com to add the 28th Amendment to the Constitution to get rid of this funding in political campaigns. It's absurd. And it's something that I care a lot about. And I think that it would make our country instantaneously better. Instantly. We would be better as a country instantly overnight by doing this. How many politicians would be out of Washington if it wasn't for the money corrupting them? How many of them wouldn't even want to run anymore? How many of them wouldn't run again? A lot. Let's put people in there, like the study said, good, moral people. Let them run for office. People that aren't corrupted. People that aren't paid off. Let those people into positions of power. People that actually care about the constituents. People that run on issues that they care about. That's what we need to get back to in this country. We've steered far away from it, but I believe that we can get back on track. Let's work hard, let's fight, and let's continue to do our job as citizens of this great country to make a difference ourselves. Thank you for watching. God bless, and have an amazing rest of your Tuesday.